Hello, this is the episode 38 of the peer-to-peer network coding session. Today we are going to be working at solving some of the message requests of profile types that we defined at our last session here. So we have these two already implemented. We need to implement create user profile, social entity, create social entity, delete, and list social entities. Okay, so that's what we're going to try to do today, at least one of these. So let's get to coding. All these functions are already here, and let's see how we can get this organized. So in this case, we will need a user profile ID. Okay, so we are talking about the create user profile. So this function, we are going to we are going to if we receive profile ID, we will assume, or we will check. Hold on, what I'm saying here. Let's reason through this through what we need to do. We are supposed to receive at this current stage, we will receive a user profile handle and the storage token. Okay, so far we have only GitHub, but storage provider. Okay, so storage provider must be GitHub for now, because it is the only storage provider we are currently working with. Then user profile handle must be the GitHub username, or let's call this storage provider username. Okay, so in order, we will need the storage provider username, and the storage provider token. So this must be GitHub. For now, because it's the only one storage provider, blah blah blah. GitHub username, this must be the GitHub username, not email or anything else. Must be a valid GitHub token. Okay, this is what we need. So with this, we are going to do these are the properties and the message that we expect here. So this function we are going to um, I don't need to detail this here. So if we receive no, so what we're going to do is the following. Number one, we will check if the has a fork values already created. If not, we will create the fork. Okay. We need the fork in order to make pull requests with the profile. Then we will check at the fork for the user profile. We will check for the user profile and read that file if exists. Okay. If the user profile file does not exist, then we are going to create it. Okay. So I'm thinking if the file exists, then okay, we will add to the user profile the desktop the user app. So the user app is uh, um, thank you. Sí, bueno. Okay, so if the I will need also the user app because the profile is not going to have the user app. Let's check this out. For example, if I have token peer-to-peer network demo, okay, at my profile I already have user apps and desktop app, and I already have this guy. But a user getting directly into this will not have it, so I will need to create this. Okay, that means that I will need to know if who is using this social social graph client, if it is the mobile app, social trading app, desktop app, or social whatever. So I will need this to send me in the message the user app type. Okay, possible values for this field are social trading desktop app, or social trading mobile app. And for now, only those two. So with that information, I can create that add to the user profile the user app based on user app type. Okay, so now we're going to create this and this and this and this. What else I need to create? The user storage. Okay, the user storage, I'm going to create one container. So another thing I'm going to do is create a storage container for social trading data. But not necessarily with that name. Mm. Okay, so all of this is what I need to do. So it's quite a lot of stuff. And also I will need to create the sign-in accounts. Create the sign-ins. Create the sign-in accounts. Okay. Okay. So this is all the things I need to do inside this function. I really don't like this to be at the same module than this. It's like this is too much stuff. I don't like it. And I prefer to have different modules for these things. So let's see if we can arrange this better. So this is desktop, which actually shouldn't be in desktop this because this is going to be reused by the mobile app. Okay, I will need to fix this stuff. First thing I'm going to do is to move this guy from here into here. So you're going from here into here. Then this guy will find it at project schema, and I'm going to move it from here and end in here. Okay, then whoever is instantiating or accessing this, I will need to change this from dk to SA. Then I'm going to test if this is still working. I don't need to run the network again. Just this. Um, Not exactly working, and I don't really understand why. Um, well, what it should be a 1 minute stuff is taking a little bit longer. Okay, there is a problem, but I cannot see it because it's on an asynchronic function. Then it fails here. Cannot read property of undefined. Reading peer-to-peer network client. So okay, let's run again. So here we have okay, SA desktop app, SA. What is going on here? Okay. Okay, now I get it. Now I know the problem. The problem is that the social graph network service client, we put it at the desktop app. I mean, I made a refactoring here that is incorrect. Because one thing is where you are instantiating this, and another thing is where you are accessing this stuff from. Okay, this was correct with this DK here. We need to instantiate it from SA but execute it from here. Okay. Okay, now it's working. Okay, so it took a while. Okay, so social graph network service client moving to SA. Okay. So now that I have that guide there, I can organize a little bit better all this stuff. Okay. So now I had you here. Good. Now I will probably do some utility functions here. Or maybe function libraries. Let me check one thing. Foundations. Function libraries. Yeah, I will create function libraries. These function libraries are going to be instantiated automatically. That's the difference with the modules. So here we have the modules, and I'm going to add a folder, function libraries. And I will start taking out from here each of these functions that I believe shouldn't be in the same module. So maybe one of them is going to be, but not a folder, a file that we're going to call posts. Okay, posts. And let's check these foundation function libraries. So this is going to be new social trading bot modules node is function libraries posts. Okay. So we're going to move these two functions. And we will put these two guys here. Okay. And the way to execute this is going to be based on how I arrange this. Okay. So here we will have the function library called posts. Posts. And that's all for now. Here, posts. And the name of the function is going to be new social trading function libraries posts. And just like that, we will have this. So in order to access this, we are going to it's going to be posts, and these are going to be function libraries. Sorry to diverge in this way, but I really need to see everything tidy before moving on. So this takes more time, but it allows you to grow the code base bigger. Okay. Save post to storage. Okay, it seems there is only one. Okay, let's see if this works. So we're going to run this, and the load post from storage should come from. Okay, it works. So these posts have been loaded from the new location of that code. Great. So we have implemented post. Okay. Exactly the same thing we will need, but not for posts. We will need for these social entities. Maybe I should call this post storage, because post is just to general purpose, and it's too broad. That's what I mean. Pods storage. So this should be pod storage, post storage, and post storage. So to fix this, we need to go here, post storage, and we need to find post dot. Wow, that's the problem to have it to a generic name. Now this is everywhere. This is exactly the problem. So we're going to replace this by this guy. And then the other function is and storage from here. Okay, so we try this again. We test it. Okay, still working. So refactoring. Okay, now we have something that is consistent. We will need another function library. This one is going to be for these two guys. Social entity storage, social entities storage. That's how we're going to call them. Where are you? Social entities storage. Okay. Social entities storage. And what we're going to do is these two functions. save and load. They are coming into social entity storage. Oh, hold on, because we need first something like this. And now we can have these two things here, which is a very similar case to the other. And here we're going to have okay, so in this case we're going to make a copy of this, and we will have that this goes here, social entity storage. This is small. Okay. Then we come here and we will copy this, but social entity add social entity and save social entity. Save, so okay. It's going to be more or less like this, but here has having this guy. And load social entity from storage, the same stuff. There's only one, there's only one. Well, I cannot test these ones because I don't have a message to test, but I assume they are going to work pretty much like the previous one. Okay, so then I will create another function library very similar to this one. In 5, that is going to be social entities at the profile. Okay, so all the functions related to social entities at the profile I will put it here. So I'm going to make a copy of this and this, and then this is going to have social entities storage, social entity profile, then here we'll have profile, 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 and profile. Then these calls, these social entities, delete social entity and create social entity, they are going to be the same but with this change. And these functions that are here are now going to be in here. So this guy, this guy, this and this, this. Okay, and then I can write the code directly here. And there is one last function library that I'm going to call user profile. Okay, so I'm going to copy this. I'm going to create user profile .js, and the name is going to be user profile. So final module here is going to be user profile, user profile, user profile, and user profile. So at this place we will have the same thing, but it's going to be user profile, create user profile. So here I will move this function from here to user profile, create user profile, and we will have this function here and here. Okay, and now this service is finished because now it has everything it needs to have, and just like that and not more than that. Okay, so I'm just going to make sure this is still running. Okay, takes a while because there are several posts and it fetched them all before considering that done. All right, so now I'm going to um, commit this. Okay, so all functional libraries implemented. Great. Now everything looks much better and I don't need to touch this guy anymore, and I can work on these guys, especially at this guy, without mixing my code with anything else. Okay, so let's start by solving these problems. So create user profile. This is waiting a response, and it's returning the response. So let's, first thing is going to validate. We're going to validate whatever we need to receive. Okay, so we're going to go through message properties validations. The first validation is if profile message dot is that if it is undefined, then and we respond and goodbye. But we better put this into here. Okay, then storage provider name, so far it can only be GitHub. So far. Okay, so if this is not GitHub, then we'll put story provider name not supported. Okay, then the username. Also cannot be undefined. Storage provided token cannot be undefined. Then user app type cannot be undefined, and user app type, if it is not equal to social trading desktop app, and this is not equal to social trading mobile app, then user app type not supported. Okay, so these are the validations. Then we will check if storage provider has a fork already created. If not, we will create a fork. Okay, so here we will go and do stuff with GitHub API. Okay, for doing things with GitHub, we're going to check the GitHub server that we have at the platform. It has many things. Mm. So we are using OctoKit. That is the dependency that allows us to connect to the REST API of GitHub. Okay. So we have never did the check of a fork. Okay. So I will have to go to the documentation of OctoKit REST and forks to check how do we dot forks So what we need to do is we will check if the storage provider name has a fork of SuperAlgos already created. If not, we will create the fork. So the first part of the problem is check if a fork exists. Okay, so fork Create a fork. Yes, we will need this. List forks. Fork is blah blah blah. List forks. Why the two times list forks? Okay, so here is the guy. List forks. Okay, so how do we use this OctoKit guy? Okay, this is the way. So I'm going to reuse this piece of logic from here, and we're going to apply it here. Also, I will check that at the desktop root that OctoKit is listed. Yeah, it is there. Okay, so we have it available. Okay, so the repo that we are talking about is superalgos. The owner is the message storage provider username. Okay, this is the owner. In this case, is the user ID at GitHub. OctoKit is this, and it seems that we need a new instance that is created in this way. The token is this thing coming from here, and we can keep this stuff in the same way. All right. So then, once you have all this, then you can do something like this. Okay. So what we're going to do is owner repo use this definition here because we need rest list forks. I'm not sure that this is the method. Because I'm trying to see if there is a fork of superalgos repository at this username, and I think that this is going to give me something else. It's going to give me the list of people who fork it the repository. Yes, this is what we are already using, or maybe not. Get GitHub usernames. Well, I don't know if it's going to come back from this query because here is not clear at all. This documentation is like. So I'm going to try this for once and see what happened because the documentation is not enough to anticipate what is going to happen. So owner repo is everything we need. So console log this response. Okay, so let's check this out. To test this, I'm going to make a small change here, and whenever we finish with all this setup, I'm going to create a test message. Test message is going to be equal to, and we are going to copy the properties we need from here. GitHub. The next thing we're going to test is this. Story provider username is going to be my GitHub username. Okay. Then story provider token. I don't think I need a token for this, but whatever, I will use the token I have or create a token for this specifically. So here I will put the token. And then user app type goes here. And we are going to use a valid user app type that is going to be social trading desktop app. Okay, and that's what we're going to put. So I will need a GitHub token. GitHub token. Generate a new token. So it's going to be a token that expires fairly quickly. Test create profile. Okay, so I'm going to create it like without any stuff. And I'm going to put it here. So then I'm going to do this object web app interface, send message, and here I will send my test message and see what happens. Okay, probably I have to stringify this, I don't remember. So let's check this out. Okay. Yeah, the message is expected to be stringify, so this is going to fail. Okay, so here is to make this response await this, so log response, and this is going to be JSON stringify. So now we go. Okay, now we go. Okay. My God, this is response. This is response. So here it comes. Okay, I need to provide a network service to network service is going to be social graph, and there's another case here. Request type profile. Okay, and even if it is profile, then profile type is, it must be this guy. All right. Okay, so profile message is the one who need to have all the other stuff inside. So where were I? So this is inside profile message. Okay. And all of these guys go inside this, like this. Okay. Ah, but all of these guys, in fact, they should come inside. Let profile message equal. Okay, here's how this goes. Okay, that was faster. So origin profile. I don't think we need this. No, we don't need you. So we'll get inside. Now we have profile message. Run the validations. Everything is in place. So we do this, 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 and this. And we do a list forks. And it fails. So from here, we don't need you. So where are we? User profile. What happened? This forks is not a function. Ah, wonderful, because that's not what the documentation told me. Okay, I was missing this repos. Okay, here we go again. Let's test this. No, I always forget I have to run this from here. Again. An empty array. So this is what I got. 200 means status okay. Uh, so what I'm doing is checking if the amount of forks that my superalgos repo has. So that's what I'm doing here. So what I need is a list of repos. Not the list of forks. Repos, list forks. Let's see if I can find repos list No, this rep list all list repos. My second option is to get a list of all the repositories and see which one is a fork, or if we have superalgos as a fork of superalgo. Oh, list team repos or get a repository. It's incredible that the most simple stuff you cannot find it, but you can find all the other stuff. Get a repository. So let's try this one. The parent and source object are present when the repository is a fork. Parent is the repository was forked from. Source is the ultimate source for the net. So I'm going to do a get instead of list forks. Okay, and let's check the response for this. Okay, so data. Let's check this out. Parent. So the way to know if we have this fork is if you have a parent with the name superalgos and owner with login superalgos. Okay, so it would be list response dot parent the name This response dot parent. Oh, this response data dot parent dot name data dot parent dot name dot owner Okay, so this is what we need. If this response if this is equal to superalgos and this is equal to superalgo, then the fork is already there. We already have a fork and we don't need create. Great. Otherwise, we do not have a fork and we need to create one. Okay, then fork, this is going to be fork. No, it's a repo, not a fork. Okay, so that solves the first problem of how to know if we do have a fork or not. Then we need to create one if we don't have a fork. So for that, we will create fork. So to create a fork, it seems that it's an easy task. It's more or less the same story, but we've created a fork, okay? So then fork is going to be create fork here. Um, so I'm going to put this like this. Good. So to test the fork, the creation of a fork, I'm going to use another repository that is not the main one, but another one. Like for example, the documentation website. I don't have a fork of this guy, or let's say this one. I'm sure I don't have a fork of this. So we will go to my profile, repositories. Okay, I have a few stuff, but not a fork of that. Okay, so then I'm going to make a trick here. Change this for this. Probably here something is going to go bad, because if I cannot get this guy, then I will have another answer that will not have all these inner objects. Okay, so let's check this out. Let's see how this plays out. No, I cannot run that. I'm going to run this one. Oops. Um, okay, repo. I will use the full world here. Okay, HTTP not found. So that means that I need to check for exceptions and what happens when things are not found, for instance. That means I need a then. Okay, so So let's see what happens here. And this would go if the repository is found. So we have two different paths now. So let's check this out. Await is only in a sync function. And where is the await? Here. Sync. Sync. Okay, I wanted to stop there, but I didn't put the breakpoint. So what do we have here? So I'm going to say if error code is 404, then I will need the owner also. Else, we're going to respond with one of these guy. Okay. There is an error stack here. Yes or no? Yes. Okay, so we send this back and we will have to resolve here, resolve response, because we will have to return a promise from all this situation. return new promise that is going to be user profile creation process. Okay, so this is going to be a function or an async function with a resolve reject parameters, and we will have everything we have here, we will have it inside that function. So this is going to be a resolve because we are going resolving this. So on this path, if it is a 404, we do not have a fork and we need to create one. So we are going to create one, and the owner of this is going to be superalgos, because superalgos is the organization of, let's say, we already have it here. The owner is going to be superalgos, and we create the fork. Okay. So this is the situation where the repository was found. I'm not sure we need to do all this, because if it was found, okay, we will create a fork. So from here, we will move to, we will have different steps, to be honest. Okay. So here we will have async function step or check create fork. Okay. This is going to be like the first step of a larger process. Maybe we do all these validations in here. Together with all this. And here we're going to resolve with this. So it's not a return, it's a resolve. Sorry. Okay, so we do all the validations, and then we will start doing like this. Await for this guy. So this might resolve um, this might resolve the promise. If there is an error, if there is an error accessing GitHub, for example, we cannot do this now. So if we need to create a fork, and we can create a fork, okay, we will need also we will need here a catch, error creating fork. Okay, function error creating fork error, and we are going to resolve also this. Okay, if there is no error, um, we will have also here a then. In this case, we have nothing to do. Hmm, hold on, because this is complicating. This is getting complicated because of the many nestling stuff. Maybe we didn't need to return a promise here. Okay, so I am resolving only the problem I will have now is that this is not going to stop because this guy is not returning a promise. So this is just going to execute, and what is the second step here? Await, check, create user file. So I think it's not going to work, but I will give it a try anyway. Okay. Okay, so let's debug this from here. I think this is going to be executed before it returns on the then or the catch. But we will see it. So we will stop here. Okay, let's see what happens. Create a fork. Okay. So we're going to create a fork or check create fork. So I'm going to execute this and it should stop here or here. But let's see where it goes. Okay, repository not found. Unfortunately, I haven't put a breakpoint here. I will do it now. Fork creation succeed. Okay, it's a temporary stuff so that I can check that everything is in the right order. Let's go again. Okay, so repository not found. Have breakpoints everywhere. So here. Okay. Error creating fork. So let me check what happened here. HTTP error not found. Okay, so this. I don't see the problem exactly which is the problem. Let it run. So it responds. Okay, so exactly which is the problem, I don't know. So let's read the documentation of creative fork. Fork and reorganize happen asynchronously. You may have to wait a short period of time before you can access the Git objects. If they take longer than 5 minutes, be sure to contact GitHub support. Okay, optional parameter to verify the organization name. So it doesn't say absolutely anything about this. Create fork. What can be wrong here? Mm, I don't see which is the problem. Honestly, we try to get this repository. It says not found. And then we are going to create a fork owner superalgos repo machine learning plugins. Then succeed catch error creating fork. So if I run this, guys, it immediately go to the error. This is the problem when using this stuff. That you have to guess why it's not working because you would never know. HTTP error. Okay, maybe because I am assigning this. Let me check. It shouldn't be because it's. Okay, I will try a little bit more, otherwise I will take it up to here. Desktop up. Sorry, not here. Create a fork. Repository not found. Okay. Very helpful. Not helpful at all. At all. Okay. I don't know what's going on. What is this? The response? Okay, I will research what is going on with this so as not to make this video so much boring. And after that, I will come back with the next video with the solution. I think the code is there for solving the first step. If we could have created the code, okay, then the repository might continue processing the next step. Um, so yeah, so let's recap. what we did in this episode was to reorganize the code in different modules, function libraries, and work on the first step of creating of checking if there is a fork, and if not, trying to create it. We got stuck in the creating process. Okay, so we're going to get up to here. Thank you for watching, and see you at the next one.